In earlier videos, we were discussing about disk scheduling algorithms. We have seen 6 different disk scheduling algorithms to improve uh, the efficiency of users of hardware, right? By having good throughput and less access time. Now, let us try to understand how to manage the disk when it is newly available with us, right? So, what is a different way of managing the disk that we are going to discuss now? So, the disk management is all about how to manage the disk use and all other things. So, whenever we purchase or take or get a new magnetic disk, it is a just blank slate, nothing is there in the disk, right? It is just a platter of magnetic recording material, right? Before a disk can store data, it must be divided into sectors that the disk controller can read and write, right? It is just given a slate, we need to create these sectors, so that because in the sectors only the data is stored, right? And this controller, if at all it want to read and write, it refers to the sectors itself, right? So before a disk can be store data, it must be divided into sectors that disk controller can read and write, and this is known to be low level formatting or physical formatting when you have a new disk to use. So what it does, it helps dividing disk into sectors that the disk controller can read and write, right? So this is simple. Now what happens, each sector can hold header information. Header information means kind of address, right? Plus data, what actually you want to store, plus error correction code, that is ECC, also can be included in the while formatting it. So level formatting fills the disk with special data structure for each sector, right? What are that? The data structure for sector typically consists of header. Okay. So the data structure for uh, sector typically consists of header, as I was telling, data, area in which data actually stored, usually it's of size 512 bytes in size, and trailer if at all is there. So the header and the trailer contain information by the disk controller, such as sector number and error correcting code and all other things. When the controller writes a sector of data during its normal input output, the ECC, that is error controlling code, is updated with the value calculated from all the bytes it has read, or all the whatever the data area it has traversed. So when a sector is read, the ECC, that is error correcting code, is recalculated and compared with the stored value. If the stored and the calculated numbers are different, this mismatch indicates that the data area of the sector has become corrupted and that disk sector must be bad. So that is how we will come to know how the ECC works to identify corrupted disk sector. So the ECC is an error correcting code because it contains enough information. If only a few bits of the data have been corrupted, so it will help you to enable the controller to identify which bits have changed and calculate what their correct value should be. So it then reports recoverable soft error. So the controller automatically does the ECC processing whenever a sector is read or written. So now what happens, most of the hard disks are low level formatted at the factory itself. Manufacturers usually does the low level formatting at their end only as a part of the manufacturing process. This formatting enables the manufacturer to test the disk and to initialize the mapping from logical block number to defect free sectors on the disk, right? for many hard disks, what happens when a disk controller is instructed to low level format the disk, it can also be told how many bytes of the data space to leave between the header and the trailer of the sectors. Usually happen, it is power of 2. It is usually possible to choose among few sizes such as 256 bytes or half KB, that is 512 bytes, or 1 KB, that is 1024 bytes. See, formatting a disk with larger sector size means that fewer sectors can be fit into the track. If the size is small, we can have more number of sectors in the track, but it also means that fewer headers and trailers are written on each track and more space is available for user data. See, some operating system use standard 512 bytes. Fine. So this is how low level formatting is done. Now to use the disk to hold the files, now we are looking into the user's end. The operating system still needs to record its own data structure on the disk. To perform that, what happens, it does it in 2 steps. The first step is to partition, right? Partition the disk into one or more groups of cylinders, right? One or more groups of cylinders. So the operating system can treat each partition as though it were a separate disk itself. So we have seen C, D, E, F, each is treated as separate disk only, right? For instance, one partition can hold a copy of operating system's executable files, while another can hold files. We all know this. Usually C drive is meant for all the executable files, D and E are for the personal usage what we can have. So this is the concept of partitioning, right? Now what is this logical formatting? Logical formatting, after the first step is partitioning, then it goes with the second step, that is logical formatting. Logical formatting or creation of file system. In this step, what happens? The operating system stores initial file system data structure, in fact, on the disk. These data structures may include maps of free and allocated space, that is FAT or inodes. What is FAT? FAT or inodes. What is this inode? Inode is nothing but every process is associated with the identification number, that is inode. So, and the initial empty directory is also available for us to usage after 2 steps. First is partitioning, second is logical formatting, right? To increase the efficiency, most of the file system group blocks into clusters, different clusters, that is disk IO is done via blocks, but disk IO is done by blocks, whereas file IO is done by clusters. Like that, operating system does this, right, on behalf of us. So some operating system, what happens, gives special program the ability to use the disk partitions as a large sequential array of logical blocks without any file system data structures. This array is sometimes called as raw disk, and IO to this array is termed as raw input output. For example, some database system prefer raw IO because it enables them to control the exact disk location where each data record is stored, right? So like this, depending upon the operating system, they have different ways of physical formatting, partitioning, logical formatting, creating clusters, and having a single large chunk of memory where it can use for the operation purpose. So this is about disk management. Next is boot block initial. What this boot block concept is? Boot block, which initializes the system. The bootstrap is stored in the ROM. What do you mean by bootstrap? Bootstrap is nothing but a process which initiates all other processes. So there must be something known as bootstrap loader into the system, so that operating system can brought into the entire operating system brought into the system, and you continue with the system working. So bootstrap loader program stored in boot blocks of the boot partition, right, which helps to initiate the disk usage. So methods such as sector sparring and all these are used for boot blocking. So this is about disk management.